Go on, get on that ass real quick one time. 144, baby.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole car. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low or this Lord, told that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about any part. I need a Vaseline like my Nina Puffer bar. Took a Zach, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like a dart. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shane Sharp. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Harper Free. Try to hold me, it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Told them boys we taking note. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them UPK rules. I'm making hits like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low or this Lord, told that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Yeah, I just got off the call. I'ma start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas, get your knife and your fork. He ain't locked in with the count and when you speaking to me fart. Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion. They can see the outcome. Get them niggas bad, got them tied down and out there. Can't do with them steppers, niggas been down since day one. We run up the bands, bitch like Dylan. They say you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. Yeah, about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, we whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low, told that bitch is either or. I told you niggas, you ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our car. And I just made the call. We gon' start another war. Yeah.
Westworld.
Right.
Everything is lawful. Westworld.
The pressure on. I remember bringing nothing home. Make it little just to make it known. Steady, ready, better watch your tone. When I was 5'7", I was breaking bones. I had to 5'7", now I want the chrome. 9'11", I was in my zone. Lose the argument or lose your dome. Keep cool, ain't no running up. Damn, now I'm coming up. They coming to kiss me, you dumb or what? You drawing, you done enough. They told me don't rush it, just wait my time. Paying attention, I see the signs. Coming right to me like Amazon. No time for distractions, I'm on the grind. Little shorty, you're sick and she knows she fine. Got a couple of so never mind. They throwing the shade cause they know I shine. Reason I'm going in overtime. You stuck in your ways, you keep fantasizing. I just go get it, don't think about it. Don't make it an issue, it ain't a problem. Not too much talking, just organizing. One Westworld, no way around it. Heavy so you know I'm grounded.
Hey, Shalom Israel. We the ISPK start out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command and John Yohana. Salaki, could you open those? The ISPK is not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. None, nada, zero, zilch. I'm also in the Quam of the Nashville School. Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shabbat to my brothers. Yahweh Shemar Athan by Hashem Yahweh Shai to my sisters. And we got a real good class today. We're going to be talking about how sin has become a learned behavior. Alright, there are so many ways to sin now. You know, it's greater than ever. Sin is more prevalent in the world than it ever has been. You know, the same sins are here that was here from the days of old, but there's so many different ways to do it now. You know, you got your internet, you got your you know, all of the, you know, things in the world, you know, your TV, your cables, you know, there's just so much access to sin that it's ridiculous, man. You know, so we have to fight more and more now than we have ever done before. You know, and we're fighting the same fight, of course, is to not sin against the Most High. That's the same fight we've been fighting since the garden. All right, and it's an easy thing to do, but with so much temptation, it becomes very, very hard. All right, and we've been taught to do this, you know, by our leaders. The leaders are the ones who we follow. A lot of people be like, you ever heard that term? You know, I'm a leader. I'm not a follower. You know, and then you see the same people who say that they are leaders and not followers. They do the same things that people have done before them. You know what I'm saying? So in essence, you are a follower because you are following the same things, the same ideologies, the same methods that the people have done before you. All right, doing wrong, you know, or doing right is a learned behavior. You have to learn how to do right, learn how to do wrong. Because when you learn how to do right or wrong, you know, you don't know that it's right or wrong until somebody tell you that it's right or wrong. So you have no idea that you're doing wrong if you don't know that it's wrong. In the same way with right, you don't know if you're doing right unless somebody let you know that what you're doing is the right thing. So it's a learned behavior. You know, all the behaviors that we do, it is learned. You can't, you know, assume that you know what to do and still, you know, do wrong. But a lot of people just, you know, they think that they know things that they really don't know, and they think it's wise to say certain things when, you know, in reality, if you would just listen, it would help a lot, help our people out a lot. You know, you want to be saved and stop doing the things that are detrimental to us by simply, you know, following or watching what happened to people, you know, ahead of us. You know, the people in the past, the people, you know, you see them doing the same behaviors and getting the same results. Well, we're going to get those same results when we do the same behavior also. You know, that's never going to change. But only thing that will change is that we, you know, learn how to not do the things that are detriment to us. And like I said, we learn these things from our leaders. That, you know, whether it be your mother, your father, you know, whoever it is, the leader of your family, whoever it may be, that's the leader of your communities. These are the things that we learn from them. You know, they say, you know, to go this way, and we go that way, and then, you know, we're trapped over here. You know, and we just don't know that maybe we should not listen to those leaders, you know, who are telling us to go in a direction that has led to the same results over and over and over again for our people. All right, and that's what we're going to be talking about, how our leaders and how, you know, the so-called elders of our community have failed us, man. You know, and it's not wrong to say that we criticize us in the Israelite community. You know, we criticize people who, you know, we get a lot of criticism because we criticize people who are supposed to be above criticism. You know, Malcolm X is supposed to be above criticism. You know, Martin Luther King is supposed to be above criticism. What's the dude who Marcus Garvey? Yes, he's supposed to be above criticism. You know, just different leaders that we have. Louis Farrakhan, you know, they're supposed to be above criticism. You know, the average person will not criticize them, even though they know some of the things that they have done has been a detriment to our people. You know, and people will still choose to not say anything bad about them or say anything that they have done that has helped create the environment that we live in today. All right, but we as Israelites, we don't have that respect of persons. All right, you know, we follow the law, statutes, commandments, and one of the laws that are in a part of us is that we, you know, cannot have a respect of a person. All right, so if something is wrong in our communities, or somebody is wrong, well, we have to point that out because we're trying to get right. You cannot get right by continue to agree with the people who have been wrong. All right? We get a lot of flack for criticizing, people who vote. We look at it as, damn near a mental disease because people will still vote for, they say that they're voting for the lesser of two evils. I mean, how the hell are we going to get out of conditions that we're in by voting for evil, period? You know that it's wrong, but yet we will still vote for a person who we know is wrong. We know that they're wrong for us, but we'll still, cast a vote to have these people, be, over us and making decisions that impact our communities. When we know that they don't have the interest of the community, and we'll still, vote them. It's damn near a mental disease, man, a mental illness, to go and vote. And we criticize it or we say something about it, and people will still be like, what else are we gonna do? We have to vote. This is how we get power. Or they'll say something stupid like your ancestors died for you to vote. My ancestors died because the people who you voting for, made laws that were against them. That's why they died. You know what I'm saying? And it's ridiculous, man. And we talk about it in the truth, because we're trying to fix our communities. We see the things that we're going through. We see the things that can be changed in our community, and we, fight to make that change in our community. And we go up against anybody who is a detriment to our community, man. And when I say anybody, I mean any and everybody. Most, I don't know. I can't speak for all Israelites, but I can speak for the UPK, the ISUPK. We have. We catch a lot of flack from different factions of our community because, they believe that some of the factions of our community are off limits because they've been around for a long time. I was at this event, right? This Stop the Violence event right here in Nashville, right? And they were saying that, I was talking to some people who was over the NAACP. And, they was asking me, they were trying to get us to agree with the NAACP. And, I was telling them that we had a lot of differences with the NAACP and a lot of things that we didn't agree with, that they do. And, they got offended because they was like, well, we've been around for 100 years. How dare you, critique us, and we've been around for 100 years. And I told them, well, you've been around for 100 years. That's not a flex. When I turn around and look at my community, and I see, drug dealers that took over the community. I see drug, abusers all through my community. I see alcoholics all through my community, rapists and robbers, and I see all of the things that are wrong with my community. And you telling me that you've been around for 100 years? What have you been doing for 100 years? When I look around and just say I didn't know anything about you, I can't tell that anybody's been helping the community. When I see the conditions of the community, I see the conditions of my people. Well, that ain't a flex that you've been around for 100 years. That looks like you have been part of the problem. And we get a lot of flack for that. Because, how dare little old Israelites, say something about the NAACP. Or, whoever it is that's been a detriment to our community. We speak against all of that. And we try to make a change amongst our people. And, we tell people that, our main thing is that, we can't change our people in the White House. We have to change our people in the Black House. That's where the change happens at. We can't vote ourselves out of oppression because we didn't vote ourselves into oppression. So those are some of the things that we talk about that a lot of people, church groups go against us, Muslims go against us, political factions, they go against us, the blackity blacks, you know, they all go against us, man, because we're just saying that, you know, in order for us to grow as a people and be, you know, prosperous as a people, well, we have to come together with one another and choose us first. And clearly that is one of the issues that, you know, people have against us, is that we choose, you know, blacks and Hispanics first and say we fix our problems by fixing us. And nobody else wants to hear that, because nobody wants to fix us. People are being paid. There are agendas going on. As long as we are destroyed, it's, you know, us being destroyed is, you know, they get paid top dollar to keep us destroyed. And, you know, we understand that, but we're just trying to speak that to the masses and let the masses understand that that's the real issue. And as soon as we can fix ourselves, the sooner they won't have any power. You know, the powers that be won't have any power over us, because we'll be, you know, self-sufficient, be able to take care of ourselves. But, you know, like I said, our elders, like I was just talking about the NAACP, you know, and I'm not just pointing the NAACP out, but there's a lot of people, you know, who have been around for years and years and years, who are part of the problem, who are part of the people who are destroying us, you know, and agree with it. And those are the people who are enemies to the black community. We're gonna start off. Y'all got any questions about anything? We're gonna I can answer your questions. We're gonna start off reading the scripture. You had a question? Oh, okay. We're gonna start off reading scripture selected. We're going to read Jeremiah, the book of Jeremiah. We always go to the Bible. To the Bible. We always go to the Word of God. You know, the prophets, the Torah, the Psalms. We read the New Testament, the Apocrypha. We read all those things. And we always go to that because these are things that, you know, that we can fix amongst the community. All right, Jeremiah chapter 11, verse 1. Because we believe that, you know, all of our answers are inside of the script. All right. I think somebody asked me, said, are we a black Hebrew? Hold on, let me see. Are you a black Hebrew Israelite? That's you know, I'm not even gonna answer that. You might as well just call me a nigger, by saying that. We're a black Hebrew Israelite. That's very disrespectful. All right. It says the word, Jeremiah chapter 11, verse 1. He said, the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, hear ye words of this covenant, and speak unto the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and say unto them, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, cursed be the man that obeyeth not the words of this covenant, which I commanded your fathers in the day that I brought them forth out of the land of Egypt, from an iron furnace, saying, obey my voice, and do them according to all which I commanded you. So shall ye be my people, and I will be your God. So this is the covenant that the Lord gave to the children of Israel, right? He told us, man, to listen to, you know, he gave this to our forefathers. Today we say, you know, this is what we got. We gave it to our forefathers that if they will obey the commandments of God, his commandments, and obey his voice, then he shall be their God and we shall be his people. All right, this is what we have to understand, that us following the commandments of God is how, you know, how we are, you know, in the covenant. You're not in the covenant if you ain't following the commandments of God. All right, you follow the commandments of God, and we listen to those words, and that's how the Most High has become our God. All right. So now, you know, he's telling our elders to go and tell the children of Israel that these are things that we need to do to be prosperous in the world. Well, we have to listen to what the Most High say. You know, when our elders come and tell us to do things, well, we have to do them. But if our elders are telling us to do things outside of the Word of God, then that's where we go astray. All right? We go astray by not following the words of God. When we following the words of man, it leads us astray every single time. He said that I may perform the oath which I have sworn unto your fathers, and give them a land flowing with milk and honey, as it is to this day. Then answered I and said, so be it, O Lord. Then the Lord said unto me, proclaim all these words in the city of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem, saying, hear ye the words of the covenant, and do them. That is what our elders should be telling us. All right? That should be, you know, the very first strand of what we should be doing as a people. We should be listening. You know, our elders should be telling us things that will keep us closer to our God. We are different than other people in the world. You know, contrary to what you've heard over here in America. All right, we are very different than other people in the world, and we are not allowed to do the same things that the world do. We don't grow from, you know, voting. You know, we have one king over us. You know what I'm saying? The Most High is our king. All right? Even if you want to hear it or not. You know, Christ is the king of the Jews. All right? Christ is the king of us. So we listen to, you know, we follow these commandments, and that's what gives us our strength. You know, we follow the commandments of God, and that's what gives us, you know, the our prosperity. Salaki. That's how we grow. That's how we be, you know, how we are, that's how we grow as a people, all right, by following the commandments of God. You know, it is not one of those things where, you know, we don't know the future of our people if we, you know, follow something else. Well, we know what we're going to do. If we follow something outside of the commandments of God, well, we know which direction we're going in. We know that we are doomed when we do that. How do we know that? Because our past has shown us so many times over and over and over and over. When we listen to somebody who is not speaking the oracles of the Most High, well, we tend, you know, us as a people, we tend to fail every single time. We don't grow or we don't become strong when we listen to people who tell us to follow things in the world. All right? That's what gets us caught up every single time. He said, because I earnestly, verse 7, for I earnestly protested unto your fathers in that day I brought them out the land of Egypt, unto this day, rising early and protesting, saying, obey my voice. The Lord has constantly been fighting and striving with us to listen to what he say do. You know, he has way more patience than I would ever have. You know what I'm saying? He has way more patience because he wants us, you know, he don't get any joy by us not listening to him. And we don't get any joy by not listening to him. We always end up in a predicament that keeps us on the bottom when we don't listen to the words of the Most High. You know, and this doesn't happen to everybody, but it does happen to our people. As a people, we tend to always be on the bottom when we don't have a moral compass. What's the moral compass? The law, statutes, and commandments is the moral compass that we have to follow. When we don't follow those things and we follow the moral compass of the world, well, hey, guess what? We do not reap the benefits. We actually are punished more and more and more than anybody else. You know, and that's just the way it is because the Lord made it that way. Because he wants us to follow him. He wants us to serve him. He wants us to be his people, and he's going to be our God, like he said. Yet they obeyed not, nor inclined their ear, but walked after every one in the imagination of their own heart. Therefore, I will bring upon them the words of this covenant, which I commanded them to do, but they did them not. The Lord was like, I've told you over and over and over the way to go. You refuse to listen to the way to go. So now I'm going to come and bring you of the reminder of what I said in the covenant. Well, part of the covenant, y'all, for those who don't know, brothers and sisters who are not Israelites, all right, Israelites know this part of the covenant. You know, when you go to the Christian church, all they tell you is that Jesus died for your sin, and you are you are in the New Testament because you believe that Jesus died for your sin, and you know that's all it takes to be in the New Testament. But what the Christian church is not teaching you all is that there are blessings of the covenant and curses of the covenant. There are blessings when you follow the commandments of the covenant, and then there are curses when you don't follow the commandments of the covenant. And that's what the brother is saying right now. That's what Jeremiah is saying to the people right now. Well, since you're not listening to what I'm trying to tell you, and I've been telling you over and over and over again, well, now I have to bring up the curses of the covenant. And those curses of the covenant are found in Deuteronomy chapter, well, some of them are found in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 16 on down. And then you can also find them in Deuteronomy, the 30th chapter, the 33rd chapter. You can also find them there. All right, the 30th chapter or the 33rd chapter. All right, he said, and the Lord said unto me, a conspiracy is found among the men of Judah and among the inhabitants of Jerusalem. They are turned back to their iniquities of their forefathers, which refuse to hear my word. So what it's telling us is that, you know, generation after generation after generation, well, we continue to go back and do the same things that our forefathers have done, which has caused us to get in the situation that we're in. When you're wondering, well, how do we get, you know, on the cargo slave ships? Or how do we get, you know, we're the last, you know, we're at the bottom of every society where we at all around the world. A lot of us ask that question, how the hell did this happen just to us? And why are they happening to everybody? This is only happening to us. Well, so we are suffering the curses of the covenant, y'all. That's why things are happening to us that are not happening to everybody, because everybody isn't a part of this covenant. But the part that we don't understand is, and the part that's crazy, that's insane to me, is that, you know, it is now that I know the truth. It wasn't when I didn't know the truth. You know, I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now. And the insane part is that we haven't looked and be like, okay, well, why don't we try this? We've tried everything else and it hasn't worked. Why don't we try this right here? Maybe this will work. You know, and that's why, you know, it's not working for us, because we are just like I've been reading how the Lord is going to us over and over again. You hear us Israelites telling our people, man, look, you've tried to be a Muslim, it didn't work. You tried to be a Christian, it didn't work. You tried to be a Buddha. We tried to be, you know, we tried voodoo. We done tried every damn thing, you know, all of these so-called religions out here, and it hasn't worked. Well, why don't, you know, we don't try to vote our way out of the oppression, it ain't work. You know, we don't try every single thing. You know, the Pan-Africanism. We done tried all of that. Kemet. We done tried every single thing, man. None of that has worked. So when you hear Israelites like, look, man, we need to try these laws, statutes, commandments. They are something that's tried and true. They say, like, you know, every brother I done seen, you know, it changed lives. And not only does it change lives, it makes you different than everybody else. Because everybody else don't get the laws, statutes, and commandments, and they don't do them, and they don't understand them. So when we do them, the laws, statutes, and commandments, you know, they help us, you know, become greater than other people, man. But we don't get that because, you know, we're too busy trying to, you know, do what the world does. And we don't want to be different. We want to be equal. And that's what's destroying us. That mindset right there of us being equal is what is destroying our people, man. It's destroying us as a people. Instead of us being greater, instead of us being, you know, the greatest people on planet Earth, well, we want to be equal to all of these people who are nobodies. And we look up to them as being somebody when the Lord said that they nobodies. And we get a lot of flack when we tell black people and Hispanic people, man, we're the greatest people on planet Earth. You know, we're just not applying ourselves in the right direction. We're not following our God. And that's why it looks like we're the worst people on planet Earth. Because our elders is telling our people, you know, to go this way, and the Lord is telling our people to go this way. Over and over again. We've been doing this since back in the book, man. And that's what Jeremiah is telling them. I'm going to read it one more time. Verse 9. Verse 10. He said, they are turned back to their iniquities of their forefathers, which their forefathers are the ones who refused to hear my words. And they went after other gods to serve them. The house of Israel and the house of Judah have broken my covenant which I made with their fathers, man. This is what the prophet Jeremiah is going telling the people. Y'all are breaking the covenant by going serving these other gods. How do you know that you're serving another god? Well, it's easy. Everybody, you know, who is not doing the commandments, if you're black and Hispanic, you know, and you're not doing the commandments of God, the law, statutes, and commandments, these are the words of God. You're not doing the covenant, man. The words of the covenant. Well, you are serving another God. It's that simple. I ain't going to complicate it for you at all. If you're not doing this, you're doing that. When it comes to the Most High. That's how he look at it. If you're not listening to me, well, you got to be listening to another God. Because you should be listening to what I say. If you my people and I'm your God, you should be keeping it, you know, the high holy days. Or you should be, you know, doing, you know, all of the covenant. You shouldn't be charging your brother usury. You dig what I'm saying? There's all kind of laws inside of here that we have to follow that keeps and promotes brotherhood and sisterhood. That's what it's all about. That's what the law is all about. Keeping brotherhood and sisterhood. And we don't do the law, statutes, and commandments, and that's why we don't have any brotherhood and sisterhood amongst one another. And we are breaking the Lord's covenant, man. And we've learned these things from our elders, man. Our elders are the ones who are teaching us to break the commandments of God. Our elders are the ones who are teaching us to not be in the covenant. Because they ain't in the covenant. So they following other guys, and guess what? They are elders. These are people we look up to. These are people who we respect. And they teaching us to go serve another God. If you're a Muslim, you serving another God. You're not serving. I don't give a damn what they try to say, man. We just serving another God. We just taking two directions to get to the same God. That's a damn lie. That's a damn lie. We are not serving the same God. The Christians, we don't serve the same God as the Christians. People will be like, well, y'all read the same book. No, we don't. The Christians don't follow anything inside of the book. They don't follow a damn thing inside the book. You know, so I can't sit there and say that we follow the same God when our God tell us to keep the high holy days. Or, you know, it's a million other things inside of the Bible, you know, inside of the laws and commandments that our God tell us to do that the Christians say don't do. They emphatically tell you not to do them. can't be serving the same God. You know, or any other religion, we're not serving the same God. He said, therefore said the Lord, verse 11, therefore said the Lord, behold, I will bring evil upon them. Why is the Lord bringing evil upon us? The Lord has told us over and over and over why he is bringing evil upon us. Because he had been trying to tell us over and over and over and over again to follow his commandments, to keep the covenant. And we refuse to keep the covenant. You know what a covenant is, for all thou who don't know what a covenant is. A covenant is agreement. It's a binding contract. You want to look at it like that. It's a contract that we have signed, you know, with our blood. We have signed that contract, and once we sign that contract, we can't get out the contract. Only person can void that contract is the Most High. He's the only one who can void it. So once we sign that contract and become part of the contract, well, we have to follow all of the things that are inside of the contract. It ain't just a blank contract. Well, we can do whatever the hell we want to do and still be a part of the contract. No, there's provisions inside of the contract that we have to follow. And then when we don't follow the provisions inside the contract, well, there's consequences. Just like any other contract, there's consequences to it. And I'm going to read the consequences. He said, therefore, said the Lord, I will bring evil upon them, which they shall not be able to escape. And though they shall cry unto me, I will not hearken to them. Why would our God not hearken to us when we cry to him? That's a question for anybody online or in the room. Why would our God not hearken to us? Hearken means to listen. Why would our God not listen to us when we cry to him after he's put evil on us? Why would he not listen to us? Go ahead, sister.
Because we disobeyed him and now he's punishing us.
Right. And we can cry all we want to. And guess when we wasn't crying? When we were disobeying him. That's when we wasn't crying. We should have been crying then. When we was disobeying the Most High, we should have been crying then. But guess what? We refused. We wasn't crying. We had so much pride, and we wanted to, try to make him look like a fool by choosing us. And the Most High is never going to be our fool. We cry, and he's not listening to us. When we, get shot down in the street. When we, marching and getting beat down. When we, we killing each other out here in the streets. We killing each other, having abortions, killing all the Lord's children. You know what I'm saying? We doing all of this evil towards our own people, man. Lord ain't hearing it. You can cry all day. That's the evil that he brought upon us. You know why he brought it upon us? Because in reality, we brought it upon ourselves. He got to punish us. That's the only way we're going to understand it. That's the only way we're going to have to come together. We're going to have to realize that the people over us are not our friends. We're going to have to realize that the people around us all want to kill us, all want to rule over us, all want to rape and rob us. It's going to take all of that for us to come together. And when you finally decide, you know what, man, we can't be equal with these people. Yeah, they want to destroy us and rule over us. So there's no way possible we can be equal to, we go out and vote and stuff, right? You would think that, all the voting that we put these people over us and all the voting that we do, that, our conditions would be, 10 times better than they are. You would think, I'm gonna give Biden for example, right? Because black people, only reason I'm choosing Biden because a lot of black people voted for Biden. Majority of black people voted for Biden. All right. You would think that, you know, by our people saving Biden's presidency in South Carolina, that he would put us, you know what I'm saying, he would put us first. Because he was dead in the water until South Carolina, and black folks came to the rescue. All right. You would think that he would put us first above all the other things. You know, and give us what did he get a Chinese?
Our race bill.
Yeah, you would think that he would give us that race bill, the hate crime bill, when people kill us. You would think that we deserve, at least deserve that. Or we deserve a reparations discussion, you know, at the White House level. You would think that we, you know, could get there. At least a discussion. Man, let me tell you something. We last on the list of the priorities for so-called President Biden. And guess what we're going to do, and, you know, when it's time to go vote again? Try to vote him back in again. That's the mental illness I'm talking about. Even though he, you know, clearly is bending you over, you know what I'm saying, with no Vaseline, you still gonna go and, you know, vote him in. And don't get me wrong, I ain't for, you know, no Republicans either. Because I think they all the same bird. You know, they're just two wings of the same damn bird. You know, I don't agree with none of them. I think they all, you know, want to rule over our people. You know, so it ain't, with me, it ain't, you know, I'm just pointing the obvious because, you know, our people vote for these people. And, you know, on a national level, you know, and even when it comes to in the state level, we do it the same thing. You know, and it's just ridiculous. You know, and our elders is what's keeping us going back into folly over and over and over again. He said, therefore the Lord, I will bring evil upon them, and they shall not be able to escape. And though they shall cry unto me, I will not hearken unto them. Then shall the cities of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem go and cry unto the gods. He said, this is how bad our God is. He telling you, while you sitting around crying, go cry to them gods you've been serving. That's who you need to go cry to. Don't come crying to me. Don't get on your knees and crying to me about, you know, all of the things that's going on with our people. You know, how the drugs done took over and how, you know, everything that done happen, you know, we out here killing one another. You know, don't cry to me about none of this. When you're not following my words. When you're not following my instructions. I'm sending brothers out on the street every day to tell y'all to come back. But you ain't following none of that. Don't come crying to me when things, you know, happen to you as a people. Don't come back crying to me. That's what the Lord said. Verse 12. Then shall the cities of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem go and cry unto the gods of whom they offer incense. But they shall not save them at all in their time of trouble. Those same gods who you follow. Why Jesus ain't gonna save you, man? Allah ain't gonna save you, man, when the Lord put us in these conditions that we in. Allah ain't gonna save you. Why Jesus ain't gonna save you? Buddha ain't gonna save you. You know, whatever gods it is that you following out here, you know, they're not gonna save you. When the Lord put evil upon us. It ain't saved us yet. Go cry to them gods and try to find out. Go cry to them gods and see if they're going to help you. Go cry to your politicians. Go cry to the Black Lives Matter. Go cry to, you know, all of these other ideologies and philosophies and, you know what I'm saying, all of these things that you know, think that is going to save you. The people who you want to be equal with, go cry to them. That's your God. America is your God. Go cry to America. You follow America, but you won't follow the God of Israel. Go cry to America and see if they help you. Go march. and see if that's going to help you. That's what the Lord's saying. In your time of need, they're not going to be there. The only person who's going to be there is your God. And the only way he's going to be there is when you listen to him. When you follow his commandments. And quit listening to these people who are leading you to these other gods. That's when we'll get help. Drop that. Let's go to 2nd Esdras 4:22. So loud. Second Ezra chapter 4 verse 22. I can get it. I forgot it. He said, then answered I and said, I beseech thee, O Lord, let me have understanding. So this is Esdras, right? He's going and asking. He's asking the Lord to give him understanding, right? Because he wants to know why. He's like most of us. He wants to know why we are in the conditions that we are in. What, how do we get here? How do we get in this position that we're in? And in these conditions that we're in? He said, for it was not my mind to be curious of the high things, but of such as pass by us daily. Namely, wherefore Israel is given up as a reproach to the heathen. And for what cause the people whom thou hast loved is given over to ungodly nations. So Ezra's like, I want to know, I don't want to know, why the sky is blue. I don't want to know the weight of fire. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to know all of these, the depths of the universe. I'm not asking to know that kind of information. I just want to know the things that I see with my eyes on a daily basis. These are questions that we have to ask. Why is there crack babies, rapping now? You know what I'm saying? Telling our people to do lean. Why is it, why are our women, so infatuated with likes so much? Why are our women's self-esteem so low? Why are our men so violent towards one another? These are the things that we see every day. These are the questions that Esdras would like to know. Stuff that we see, learning about the depths of the sea and things of that nature. It's not, that's not important to us. What's important to us is why the things that I see with my eyes, why are they going on? Things I'm being taught in the world, why am I being taught these things? He said, I want to know, and Ezra wanted to know why his people has been given over to the heathens. Why we don't have a land of our own, but we are in all of these heathen lands. Why is it that, how did we get to the point where we are scattered all around the world inside of these heathen lands? Ezra wanted to know this. This was going on in his time. And why are we being ruled over by such ungodly people, man? These people who are ruling over us in America, man, or in the Caribbean, or in, wherever it is that we at. These are, they are so evil and ungodly. And they're ruling over. And I just want to know why, how do we get to this point? To where we don't have our land, but everywhere we at, we are under some of the most evil people in the world. He said, and why the law of our forefathers is brought to naught, and the written covenants come to none effect. And Ezra wanted to know, how the hell are we supposed to get out of this? Because the only way that we can get out of this is what? Anybody online know? You can answer. The only way we can get out of this, and Ezra understood this, the only way that we can get out of the situation that we in is what? Go ahead, sister.
By obeying and turning back to the Most High.
To those
following what He told us to do.
Right. To do those laws, statutes, and commandments. And this is what Ezra said. He said, and why is the law of our fathers brought to naught, and the written covenants come to none effect? And he like, why is the covenant, in God's covenant, remember I was telling you earlier, in God's covenant, that there are blessings and there are curses. Ezra wanted to know why is the covenant, why is the blessings of the covenant that God told us that He would be our God in, we would be His people, and He would be our God. Well, why isn't these things coming to effect? Why is it not working? Why is He not saving us from these heathens, these ungodly people, and these ungodly nations? Why is He not saving us? This is what Ezra wanted to know. And and the issue was, and the issue is, why God is not saving us from these people is because we are serving their gods. And we refuse to listen to the law, statutes, commandments. We refuse to do them. That's why they come to naught. The law, statutes, commandments is our power, y'all. We have no power without it. You can try to be equal. You can try to be, American, or you can try to be English, or you can try to be whatever it is, country that the Lord has placed us in for them to do evil to us. You can try to be those people and think that's going to work. That's how we're going to work our way out of it. Well, that's not going to work. The only thing that's going to work is that we follow His commandments. He didn't want to put us in here. He put us in here for not following His commandments. Well, guess what? The only way we can get out is following His commandments. That's how we get out. That's how we get from amongst all of these evil, ungodly nations. Without that, we stuck. Edris knew it. Edris wanted to know, and ask why these things were happening. And we're not going to get any mercy from the Most High. The Lord is, He's all mercied out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, He's still showing mercy. I'm not going to say y'all mercied out. But He's still showing mercy because He ain't just let them destroy us and kill us as a people. Because that would go against the covenant. I mean, that would go against, the promise that He made to Abraham. So He's not going to let them root us out of the world. But we are going to be, under subjection to a bunch of ungodly, heathens. They're going to rule the world, and we're going to be ruled by them. Until we decide to, we should be ruling the world. Till we make that decision, till we come up with that answer, we need to rule the world in order for the world to be better. Because as long as we allowing these people to rule the world, and when I say allowing, I literally mean we are allowing them to rule the world. We allow it because we can easily stop it. And I ain't talking about getting guns and trying to fight them. I'm talking about simply by keeping the commandments of God. That would change everything. That would change the whole world. The world is in the conditions that it's in because of the Israelites. And a lot of our people, you know, don't know that they're Israelites. So the more people that are, you know, we tell, the more people wake up into knowing who they are, well, the chances become better of us having a better word. But until we can, you know, muster up the right amount of strength, you know, to be able to fight against our lust, because that's the only thing stopping us from becoming a, you know, ruling the world is our lust. We can't stop lusting after the world. But as soon as we stop lusting after the world, we'll rule it. That's going to change everything. Let's drop that. Give me Baruch. The book of Baruch, chapter 1 and 17.
Baruch
1 and 17. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start at 15. He said, and ye shall say, Baruch 1 and 15, and ye shall say, to the Lord our God belongeth righteousness, but unto us the confusion of faces. As it come to pass this day, and unto them of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and to our kings, and to our princes, and to our priests, and to our prophets, and to our fathers, for we have sinned before the Lord, and disobeyed him, and not hearkened unto the voice of our God, to walk in the commandments that he gave us openly. Since the day that the Lord brought our forefathers out of the land of Egypt unto this present day, we have been disobedient unto the Lord our God, and we have been negligent in not hearing his voice. This is something that, you know, we have to, in order for us to change our situation, we have to come to grips with this. When we wondering why we're in the conditions that we're in, well, we have to be taught this history that we have. Well, throughout our history, since the time we left the Egypt, all the way up until now, we have neglected to keep the Lord's commandments. We have been in constant battle with the Most High in keeping his commandments. And that's why we are in the conditions that we're in. And, you know, only way we can get out of it is by going to him and saying to him that we sorry. Going to him and saying to him that we sorry. That's the only way we can get out of the conditions that we're in. And we cannot, you know, we have to go and be like, look, you know, we ain't kept your commandments, and, you know, we have to turn back and start to keep the commandments of God. That's what's going to change things. Ain't nothing else going to change nothing. Except for us repenting for the sins that we've done to the Most High. Sin is us not keeping his commandments. And then come and start to keep his commandments. That's the only change that we can make. We can't go cry and think that that's going to fix everything. You can't cry to the Lord and go back and keep sinning. That's what, you know, the Christian church teaches us. That we can just go turn a backflip down the aisle, walk the pews, cry, and then go back smoking weed after we leave church. And, you know, whoring after we leave church. That's what they teach us. But we can't do that. We have to keep, you know, you have to, repentance means to stop doing what you're doing, acknowledging that you're doing something wrong, stop doing it, you know, and then start to keep the commandments of God. That's repentance. Oh, repentance ain't about you just crying. It's about you stop sinning. That's what repentance is about. Verse 20. Wherefore the evils cleaved unto us, and the curse which the Lord appointed by Moses, his servant, at the time that he brought our fathers out of the land of Egypt, to give us the land that flowed with milk and honey, like it is to see this day. Nevertheless, we hearken not unto the voice of the Lord our God, according to all the words of the prophet whom he sent to us. And the Lord is always sending his prophets to teach the people. Always. Before the Lord start to kill and destroy, he always sends prophets to teach the people and tell the people where they're going wrong. Because the Lord wants us to do right. He don't want to kill us. He don't get no joy out of killing us. He wants us to do right. So he always sends, you know, the prophets to come tell the people, look, this is what we're doing wrong. This is what we need to do. And throughout history, we have seen how our people has neglected and killed off the prophets because they don't want to change. We're going through that today, 2023. We're going through that right now. The prophets are on the streets telling people to stop and change, come out of America or wherever you at and change, and our people are not listening. We are in a constant battle, just like Christ was. Christ was in a constant battle when he was telling people to change. You know? And we're going through the exact same thing. And that's part of, you know, the work that we do. We have to go and teach the people and tell the people, you know, what the Lord said. And, you know, the vast majority of the people are not going to hear. But there are some that will hear. And those are the ones who the Lord called because they hear his voice. But every man followed the imagination of his own wicked heart and served strange gods, and to do evil in the sight of the Lord our God. So, you know, this is something that's common that we do. You know, we as a people, you know, we don't listen to our God, but we will listen to, you know, the gods of these other heathen nations. And that makes, you know, our God mad because our God is a jealous God. And he don't want us following the gods of these other nations. He's jealous. Extremely jealous. And, you know, we are not keeping the contract that he's given us because we are being taught not to keep the contract. You always hear, you know, you go to Christian church, they'll tell you in a heartbeat, laws are done away with. And them dummies don't even know that the contract is the law. Our laws is God's laws is the contract. You know, the circumcision and, you know, all of these, the laws, the commandments, the curses, the blessings, all that come within the contract. You can't have a contract without the laws. The laws are the provisions of the contract. That's what be so amazing to me. Even Christ kept the contract. Christ himself. He kept the laws of God. the disciples kept the laws of God. They didn't stop keeping the commandments. When Christ was so called, what they say he was nailed to the cross, all the commandments were nailed to the cross with Christ. Well, evidently the disciples didn't get the memo. Because they continued to keep the commandments. They continued to keep the laws of God. Paul continued to keep the laws of God. So, clearly they didn't get the same memo that y'all got. And what we don't understand is a lot of these, the things that are followed in the Christian church today, they were not followed by the early so-called Christians. The early followers of Christ, the disciples. They didn't have these same beliefs that the people have today. They had a lot of councils that they went through and changed things. And that's why you have these beliefs and these thoughts today that they didn't have, 2,000 years ago. Nobody said the laws were done away with 2,000 years ago. But after those councils that they had, all these different councils, the Council of Nicene and all these different councils they had, they came up with the laws are done away with. And that's when they came up with Easter and all these other things to, be in the foundation of Christianity. But that wasn't how they thought 2,000 years ago. But they was being taught this by the leaders. So gradually the leaders was going further and further away from the truth. Or from the way. That's what they used to call it back in that day. Yeah, so this is why, this is something that we have to learn to do. To get further and further and further away. These religions are the ones that's keeping us further and further away from our God. And that's why our God is so mad, because we follow the religions of these other gods, which have absolutely nothing to do with us, have nothing to do with bringing us out of the land of Egypt. And that's really his issue. You serving these gods that didn't bring you out. They didn't walk you through the sea. These gods didn't do any of that. They can't do any of that because they're not real. I'm the only living God. But we tend to believe that all of these, fake religions are real. And when they're really not. All right, let's drop there. Let's go to Matthew chapter 37. The book of Matthew chapter 37 and 20. Sorry, hold on. It's not a Matthew 37. Hold up. Okay, drop that. Don't worry about the 37. Let's go to Mark chapter 6. Romans. Sorry. Romans chapter 16. Romans 16 and 17. Romans chapter 16, verse 17. Aqua, you there? It says, now I beseech you, brother, mark them which cause division and offenses contrary to the doctrine which you have heard, and avoid them. For they that are such serve not our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, but their own belly, and by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the saints. This is, we see this on a daily basis with politicians. We see this with pastors. We see this with, so many people who we look up to help us as a people. And our people are so gullible, man, because, we so destroyed. We so destroyed, it just makes us so gullible that we'll listen to anybody to try to get some help. Anybody who's willing to, sound like they want to fix us or sound like they care, well, we'll listen to them and follow their instructions. Whichever way they're going to send us, we're going to go. Because we're so destroyed as a people. And we don't understand that these people don't have our best interests at hand. They don't have our best interests at hand. But we don't even care if they got our best interests at hand. It just, the words that they say sound so good. The things that they say, it just sounds so, great. It tickles our ear. And we just want to follow anybody who we think is going to help us. We think that they're going to help us. And in reality, they're not there to help at all. They're there to fill their own bellies. What's that woman name, man? She tried to be a part of the Tennessee 3. Y'all probably heard of the Tennessee 3. I call it the Tennessee 2. Alright. But y'all might have heard of the Tennessee 3, the white woman that was with them. Who didn't, she didn't fall on her sword for the brothers. But she wanted the glory and the fame of being, the Tennessee 3, when she nothing ever happened to her. She didn't lose nothing. You know what I'm saying? She didn't do nothing but gain out of the situation. She didn't lose her seat. She got notoriety amongst, the Democrats. And she ended up, now she's finna run for the Senate. Now she want to run for the Senate. So she just gained, by those brothers' fall. By their fall, she gained. And she came up off of them. And she's trying to come up even more off of them. And trust me, she's going to use that situation to help get her inside of the White House. But not only that, that's not the hard part, right? That's a given. We already know we know what they're going to do. We know that they use us, as much as we allow them to use us. That's not the sad thing. The sad thing is that these brothers who failed, who she didn't fall with, are going to help her excel to the position that she wants to be in. That's the sad part. That they are going to be used. And not only are they going to be used, they're going to, freely be used. They want to be used. You did. When it clearly should be one of them going for their position, they're going to push the white woman to go for their position. And these are the people, and it's sad because these are the people who we listen to. These are the people who we choose to follow. you know, and believe that they have the best interests at hand. And in reality, they don't give a damn about us, man. They're trying to fill their own business. They can care less about you. These pastors, the same way. They can care less about you at all. They're trying to buy jets.
Right.
They're trying to send their kids through college. The church is a financial institution, for those who don't know, that does not pay taxes. So it's, you know, it's better than the bank. You know, it's just a way to funnel money. You know, and that's the you know, sad part is that we look at it, and some of these brothers and sisters go to church, right? And really be trying to find the Lord. But you're not going to find the Lord without change. It's not going to happen. He's not going to be on your side. He's not going to hear your call. He's not going to hear your cry. Without change. And the only way you can change is by keeping his commandments. You can't change, you know, no other way. And when I say change, I mean you got, you know, change in order to be protected by him. Well, you have to follow his laws, his rules, in order to be protected by him. Can't do on your own. Can't follow these other gods. Can't follow these ungodly nations. Can't do none of that, man. You have to follow what he say do. It's the only way it's going to work. I know it's unpopular to hear because you've been told that you can do what the hell you want to do. But look how doing what you want to do has gotten us. Look where it has gotten us. Doing what we want to do. And we're not going to change our situation until we change our thinking. And until we realize that the people who are leading us astray are harmful to our people. And you have to be able to mark them that cause division. Put a mark on them, all right? These people right here are bad for our people, and we're not going to follow them. These people right here are bad for our people, and we're not going to follow them. You know, you following rappers, you following drug dealers, you following movie stars, you following, you know what I'm saying, all of these people who are leading us astray, man. Politicians, pastors. You following all these people who are leading us astray. You know, these movements, so-called movements. They are leading our people astray. If they're not bringing us together, they're leading us astray. They're not bringing you together to keep the commandments of God, to have a moral compass. Well, it's leading us astray, man. And that's how we keep getting played. You keep getting played because you don't know. Nobody has taught you that these folks are playing you. They're telling you to follow the people who play you. And keep following the people who play you. And that's the issue that we're going through. That was the issue they was going through back in Jeremiah's days, back in Esdras' days, back in Baruch's day, back in everybody's day. It's the same thing, man. So something has to change. Something has to change, and we got to change. We got to be that change that we want. We want to change. We want to change us as a people, but we got to start with each other first. We got to start here. You got to change. In order to change our people, it got to start with one person at a time. All right. And with that, you got any questions in here? Alright, so with that, we the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of Junior Hanna. I'm Austin Naquam of the Nashville School, and that's my time. Shalom.
All right, this is Rooted Speech, man. We got Captain Tywar in the building. Yeah. So, Cap, man, let us know where you from.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me, man, on Rooted Speech, man. Understand, I'm breaking down right quick,
don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart, one West when I finish, one West when I start. Big shine, big glow. I be gone till November, let my bitch know. I'm back by the winter, bubbling like Crisco. I need my pockets all swollen like a lymph node. Talking out the side of your neck, get you a slit throat. I stay broke, don't care if I got $1 million. Looking down on me, I put your brains on the ceiling. Fuck kicking down the door, we bout to demo the building. Fake cats all in these groups, I wonder who ya. Shoot ya off your pulpit, hallelujah. 4-pound gun youngin' down like it's a cougar. On my feet, combat boots or is it Puma? Words spreading around about me, none of it rumor. All truth, very big facts, very large caliber on very small gaps. Compact pistols, ladders, and all that. About to throw the switch in the Nina for rapid fire. Got the 5.7 equipped with the magnifier. Boom shakalaka equipped with the rim rocker. We ain't really got beef, yeah, Ramak would have been shot ya. The best rhymer since Pac and Big Papa. Big llama, big juice, I'm Big Jamba. Quarter tank of gas, I ride like a big timer. No informer, no sweat, not insider. My conglomerate wreck like King Kong. No Asian pun me, no chink in armor. Remain calm throughout